Hello, and thank you for taking some time to this interview. So, first of all, for people who don't really know you, could you introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. My name is ArinMaya. I am an artist, multidisciplined, multi-genre, experimental, including soul and jazz and folk and electro slash ambient soul slash new soul slash really anything that feels good in the moment.
Cool. Well, actually, that's something I wanted to ask you about. You create music that has really various and diverse influences and many, many genres, as you just said. So, it's important for you to blend all of those together.
That's a good question. Is it important to blend them? Because I think that's something that I'm trying to figure out right now. I think that what I'm accepting about myself is that I'm weird.
Okay.
I have a good friend who's a little younger, and he's me and my good friend from childhood's younger brother. Um, and he said, "Yeah, I was playing some of your music for my girlfriend." And she's like, "Oh my God, I really like her. She's totally weird, like me." And I'm like, "Am I weird?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So I'm embracing that
Yeah.
weirdness, but not so much weird. Just you know, um, I really don't like being limited. Is ultimately what it is, and there's so many things that I love musically. I've always loved listening to music, and I've always loved to sing as well. I've been singing since I was like 2, but I've always loved listening to music. And when I can't sing out loud, like in an office or job where I have to do this or that at this point, and there are people who I have to like take care of customers or whatever,
Mhm.
I can't sing in their face necessarily all the time, but I can always have music on kind of and
Mhm.
listen to it. So I'm always paying attention to what I like and kind of listing that in my mind. And so because there's so many different artists and styles that I like, that I've liked and listened to over the years, it's kind of what I do as an artist.
Cool.
So,
So you've been in Europe for a little while now.
yes, I'm in Europe.
Partly thanks to some supporters as well, so you can talk about that as well
Yes,
if you want.
yes.
So, how is it going so far?
It's going well. I came over at the end of September
Hmm.
as part of Rick Owens' Paris Week fashion show, which was a really great experience. And so I was one of the members of the 40-member step team for that show at the end of September. And I stayed in Paris for about a month. Um, and then I realized that I was doing the same thing there that I was doing in New York, which was
Hmm.
sitting. And, I was getting work done. It was great. And really being able to kind of get some things done that I hadn't been able to get done in New York, because in New York I'm all about, oh, I have to pay my rent. Let me go to work right now,
Hmm.
and let me come back home from work, and whatever, getting kind of tied up in the rigmarole. But I launched a Kickstarter, not a Kickstarter. It was not a Kickstarter. I did not launch a Kickstarter.
GoFundMe,
I
is it?
launched a GoFundMe,
Yeah.
which I specifically did not launch a Kickstarter purposely, because I feel like Kickstarter is kind of a professional
Hmm.
kind of doing a widespread go hard, ask for money, and my GoFundMe was more an effort to communicate with the people who have supported me
Hmm.
in the past and who might not, you know, always be able to come to shows, etc., or whatever, but they do believe in my forward movement and progress. And so I put out an ask for just funds to kind of support me as I move really with the wind and move with opportunities. And so far I was in Paris, and then I left October 30th for Brussels. And JR, he asked me, "Do you know
Hey,
anybody in Brussels?"
JR.
Hey, JR. JR was like, "Do you know anybody in Brussels?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Why are you going to Brussels?" I was like, I just really feel like I've heard good things about it, and it's just calling me. And
Hmm.
he's like, "Oh, you such a WP." I was like, "What is a WP?" He's like, "A warrior princess." I was like, "I'll take it, thanks." So shout out to John Robinson.
Yes.
But so I went to Brussels for a couple of days, met some really cool people there, had some amazing Congolese food, and then some people the people who I stayed with there as well as people I met right before I went, kept whispering the name Akua Naru in my ear. And right before I left Paris, when I was booking my tickets for Brussels, then another friend of mine, Napoleon Solovox, of Is What in Ohio, he was like, "Are you going to Cologne?" And I was like, no. And he was like, "Well, maybe you should, because I passed your music to somebody and they liked it." I was like, "Okay." So I looked up a ticket and it was so cheap. I was like, "Of course I'm going." And since people had mentioned Akua Naru's name to me, I like looked her up. We connected. So I went Brussels, Cologne, met up with Benjamin Ketzel of Pop Ants Productions. They do amazing shows and work with amazing artists, and he just gave me so much information, and he's just a really great. I love meeting good people. I've been meeting good people like the whole time, and so connected with Akua. Went to the Netherlands to stay with a friend of mine who does circle singing, which is another thing that I'm really putting work and time into creating and crafting the words and articulating the vision for work that I want to do on a more communal base and a more professional base with music for myself. When I went from Cologne to the Netherlands, back to Cologne to do a show with Akua and some other amazing artists there. That was like timeless, awesome experience I'll never forget. And then I've just been going since then. I went from Cologne to Amsterdam. Got to stay with one of the artists I met at the show with Akua, poet, who's also from the States but living in Amsterdam. And then I came here to London, and now I'm in London, chilling with you, and meeting more cool people, like having the chance to stay with the old friend from high school, which is awesome and gracious, and I now I have a much clearer vision of what I'm doing for the rest of the year here, and I might leave in January, which is a little
Maybe,
sad.
maybe not.
Maybe not. But I'm definitely still connecting with people, and I'm going to Berlin in December, and I'm just looking forward to it. I've had a chance to go to the studio a couple times to record some things that are gonna come out and stuff, and just kind of work through ideas with people who would have definitely been strangers to me before, but who are now fans and followers and supporters and visionaries in the work that they do, and now they're kind of like my mentors because they know more than I know. So yeah.
Okay. So specifically about these new things coming out, do you want to tell us more about it, or not really?
There's a song that I started working on. I don't know. I guess a couple of months ago, in the States with a really really talented producer, and I'm excited to put that out. It's absolutely abstract. It's absolutely non-conventional. It's a cover of a traditional song, and I'm excited about showing my crazy, really. Because it's not something that I went into the studio saying, "Oh, I'm gonna record this song." Like, we were in the studio, being in the studio, just being in the space, and kind of savoring the moment. And I asked for the next opportunity to sing, and then it just came out, and it was totally weird. And I was like, "What was that?" But then he added some other things onto it, and I'm just excited about sharing it. And I'm excited to see the response. And so that's the next project kind of thing. I mean, it's just a single, but I'll be putting that out hopefully in the next week or so. And then I have a project that I want to put out that I've been waiting on for a while, but I think that'll probably come out in the new year. And then there's just so much I want to do right now. Like when I went to do the show with Akua in Cologne, she's so amazing. And her band is so amazing. Like it was electric being in the room with so many talented artists and musicians, like who were not self-centered and I'm so dope, let me play this longer than everybody else. There was none of that. There was I mean, if there was ego, it was all healthy ego, and it was all group building and like make it sound good and make it feel good ego, and it just felt so good. But some of the you know how when you get to do the thing you do in time and space, when you don't have to think about it,
Mhm.
like you don't have to, I don't have to think about, okay, now I have to go home and pay my rent, or I
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
whatever. Like I'm actually just doing
yeah.
this, and I'm having
Definitely.
so
Yeah.
much fun doing it right now. So like I had so much fun doing what I was doing, and I found myself going places that I generally don't go
Mhm.
because, I don't, the soul I sing is kind of a different kind of soul.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily always familiar soul. And I'm okay with that. But that weekend we sang Music Soul Child Soul Star about 30 to 50 times. you know. And it was amazing, but it was just like that feeling, like those harmonies and like those
Mhm.
feelings, like the actual neo soul of it
I saw
that
you on Sunday.
and it was just like it was just fun to kind of get back into that. And so I'm excited to kind of re-explore that side, or
Mhm.
even explore it, because with the music that I've put out, I don't know that I've put out any actual neo soul. I think
Mm.
people get neo soul from what
Mhm.
I do, because that's kind of where a lot of my love comes from, as far as like the artists who I've loved over the years.
Mhm.
But um, I'm there's some producers who I have my eye on right now who I would really love to love me back, and so I want to just keep going.
Cool.
I should put their names out there, right?
Yes,
I
you
should put their
should.
names out
You
there,
should. You
right?
should.
Um, oh, there's so many people. I mean, honestly, I'd love to do some music with Akua Naru.
Mhm.
Um, DJ Sid Mercutio. I'd love
Yes.
to do some music with him. Um, I'd love to I'd love to do a track with
Yes.
Aaron Abernathy from Howard University. Um, and really, there are just so many people. I mean, the list kind of goes on. But yeah, so yeah,
Cool. Anything else you would like to say?
the journey continues, and I'm excited to be here now. So
Cool.
stay with me.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you.
you.